Hi, welcome back to Crazy Good Aging, the podcast where we celebrate bold, brilliant women who are rewriting the rules of what it means to grow older.
And by rewriting, we mean ripping up the script and paddling or climbing their own way forward. I'm Valerie.
And I'm Dorothy. Today's episode is one of our most inspiring yet. We're talking about women who refuse to let age slow them down. In fact, they're speeding up, literally.
We've got two incredible stories that we're so excited to share. First up is a dynamic duo of sisters who call themselves, get ready for it, the Octopussies.
Yes, you heard that right. They are as fierce and funny as their name suggests, and they've competed in the Buffalo Bayou Partnership Regatta, one of Texas's biggest canoe and kayak races.
But that's not all. These sisters didn't just show up. They trained, they raced, and they thrived. And we'll be asking them what else they've taken on, because we have a feeling that their athletic resume doesn't end at the bayou.
And then in our second segment, we're headed from the water to the clouds. We'll meet a woman who decided to climb Kilimanjaro for her 80th birthday. Yes, Africa's tallest peak.
Her story is about more than just altitude. It's about attitude, determination, bravery, and embracing your edge no matter what the number on your birth certificate says.
Whether you're into paddling, peak bagging, or just pushing past limits on your own, today's episode is a love letter to late life courage.
So grab a cup of something warm, lace up your metaphorical hiking boots, and settle in, because first up, we're heading to Houston.
Let's meet the unstoppable, unfiltered, and undeniably fabulous sisters behind the Octopussies.
Okay, I have to know, how did you come up with the nickname the Octopussies?
We're in our 80s, and I studied Latin and Greek, so of course we know root words, and the octopus has 8 arms and legs, and so why not? We're women, so we can be a little rude about it.
Tell us about yourself and how you got into paddling.
It was her fault. We learned how to canoe at camp back in the late 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
And we went from the bow to the stern to the star. We passed the star, that was the highest level. And that's when you could paint your paddle. That was the highlight. And then that was our beginning of canoeing, but we've done all kinds of activities since then. And
yeah, we sailed together as a team. Susan and I sailed together with our mom racing. And
on Lake Pontchartrain.
On Lake Pontchartrain in New Orleans, where we're from. And we did a lot of that.
We did.
As just the two of us. And then I went to Tulane to college. And that year, another woman and I, Frances Whidden and I, started the Tulane Varsity Sailing Club. And that team, we were so thrilled to learn, 2 years ago, won the North American Collegiate Sailing Championship. So we've been doing water things for a long time.
That's right.
So you participated in the Buffalo Bayou Partnership Regatta.
Well, Alice you were in it first. How many years ago? About 17 years ago.
No, we went in it together for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah. But I had known about the existence of this, and I thought, well, this sounded really fun. So I asked Susan, because both of us do know how to canoe, and we're pretty good at it.
We passed our star.
Yeah. So we thought, well, we would enter this. And our mantra at that point, because we'd never paddled
15 miles.
Yeah, we'd never paddled that far in our life. And we're both very competitive. So our mantra was complete, don't compete. But then when we saw we were doing pretty well, we decided going for it.
Because we could pass other canoes.
Yeah.
I mean, that was quite a thrill.
So that's how it started.
Yeah. In the upper third of all these 600 different boats.
The only one. And
Yeah.
Susan doesn't live in Houston. Susan's about 100 miles away.
I live in College Station, Texas A&M.
So We just figured, well, we could get together for that once a year. And that's what we've been doing ever since.
Yeah.
Training regimen. How do you stay fit and motivated?
I had been rowing, so I was kind of in shape with that. We're both real active, but the first canoe regatta we didn't train for. And then the next year, people asked how we trained, and we said it was our last race. That was when we trained. That was our race. That's really when we used the canoe, because we neither one have a canoe that we can practice in.
Yeah.
So we just did our own, just keeping active. I would go to Gold's.
Yeah,
We
well, I go to the gym
exercise.
every day and work out, and they had a machine that you could sort of copy the motion of paddling. So I did do that.
Any moments of disagreement or joy on the water?
Yeah. We're both competitive. We're both curious. We have that positive attitude, but I have to say that is being strained to its breaking point almost because of the political situation today. So both of us, to maintain our sort of emotional equilibrium, have opted out of a lot of public social media.
Yeah,
I don't even own a TV. I've stopped listening to the radio, except when I'm in the car. I listen to Spanish radio stations, so I can't understand what they're saying. And we read. We both of us read a lot.
She's the voracious reader. I don't read as much.
Yeah.
I read some. I go outside. We have a huge, wonderful garden in the backyard, and I go out there. I like it quiet. I like nature, and that's how I keep my equilibrium.
Let's talk about your relationship, because your sisters, I know if I had to do something like that with my sister, it would be not good. We would fight all the time about everything, because I know my sister well enough. She likes to debate. So what about your relationship? What is that like? Do you disagree? Do you agree on everything?
Don't agree on everything.
Susan is much nicer than I am.
We debate, argue, but it always comes out fine. And we have so much in common. And we had so much fun going back over the good old days and memories and stuff. So,
Yeah.
And we're pretty much like-minded about so many things that we can disagree, but we always end up being friends.
Yeah. And we like to eat, so we can share the great pleasures of food.
All right. So, what other events have you competed in, or are you planning to compete in?
Compete events. I think just continue on with the Buffalo Bayou Regatta as long as we can get. Well, we have help getting our canoe into the water now. We have help getting into the canoe. We have help getting out of the canoe.
Takes a block and tackle to get out of the canoe.
Well, I know that you must have inspired a lot of other women to do this regatta or to take up paddling. So have you seen an increase in the number of women and older women? Do you get a lot of people saying, I want to do what you do?
Yeah, there were a few.
Yeah.
Time before last, they're finally getting into their 60s, and so they can compete
The ones
in our category.
The ones that everybody I know probably is younger than I am.
We are all,
So
they're all younger.
The ones that I know that have come are 20 years or more.
They're in
younger.
their 60s.
Yeah, 60s. And I know a couple are probably not in their 60s yet. They're younger than that. But they do it. And I mean, it's just fun.
It's just doing it. And we've won a lot of our trophies because we've been the only ones in our division because we're so old. But we love our trophies, so we keep on going. But year before last, there was another couple of tandem women, and they actually won. So we came in second because there were two of us. Two canoes of our age group.
Oh, they were in your age group. Well, that's great, though, that you're inspiring other women of all ages. That's just really remarkable.
Well, for me, I don't ever think about my age. And when we were supposed to say how old we were when we were doing something, I don't know. I have to go and subtract a year from my birthday because I never think of how old I am. I just know every birthday I think, oh my gosh, that's getting pretty old. But if you don't think about old and numbers, you just do what you want to do and you keep on doing it. And that's how you keep going. You don't
Yeah.
think about how old and, oh, I shouldn't be doing this because I'm so old. It doesn't ever figure in.
Every now and then, I'm kind of struck by the fact that I'm as old people used to be, and it's always a little bit of a shock. Because I think age is kind of a state of mind. Yeah, you hurt. I mean, you do. That's the way it is. But mostly it's just fun. And I think a lot of the fun part is because both of us are really curious about everything. And both of us are competitive. So we want, if a younger person's doing it, it looks like fun. Well, we're going to do it too.
And I have to say about our mom,
Oh,
she was in an assisted care facility. She's 99 years old, pushing her wheelchair around, and she said, it's really, I don't mind being there, but there are all these old people there.
our mom was a hoot. And one time when she was in that retirement place, she was tootling along. They had an asphalt path, and she
At
was
night.
kind of strolling along at night, or in the
She liked to see
wheelchair.
the stars.
But she ran off the edge, and the thing turned over and dumped her out. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I've got to get this thing back on the sidewalk and get in it, or they won't let me come out anymore." So she got it pulled up. And she came by that well, because I remember once when we were sailing, I don't know how this happened.
It was slippery, it was rainy, it was wet,
Yeah.
the wind was picking up, we were coming about or jiving or something.
And she got hit by the boom on the mast and got knocked overboard. And she came up blowing
It was that
reaching for air.
a foot going by.
Yeah, it's just going back. And she said, "Don't stop now, we're in the lead."
Oh gosh. Okay, I just love this. You all, two things have come up that I want to mention. One is that that continuous learning. You're always learning and you're always trying new things. So you're curious, which really speaks to enjoying your life as you get older, no matter what you decide to do. But for some women, they go, "Oh, it's too late to do this. Oh, it's too late to that." And I ran my first marathon at age 50, and I've been doing other things, crazy things, not to be mentioned here.
Definitely crazy
Since
things.
then. But what do you say? Do women come up to you and say, "Oh, I'm just too late to learn to paddle. I'm just too late, old to learn to do this"? Do you have people that do that? What do you tell them?
Well, it's never too late. If you're interested in doing it, you don't ever know unless you try it.
Yeah.
So no, not too many. Not too many
I
say
don't think anybody's ever said that to me.
Well, maybe we're changing those attitudes.
things that we won.
We've got 4 more on the desk.
All right. Woo, I love it.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's been fun.
Our next guest proves that age isn't a barrier, it's a launch pad. Because while most of us might celebrate an 80th birthday with cake and candles,
She chose hiking boots and altitude sickness.
she set out to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, the highest peak in Africa, to mark her 80th year. And trust us, it's a story of strength, courage, and the kind of perspective that only comes from standing above the clouds.
Welcome, Mary Holmes. We are so excited to hear your story.
Okay, Mary, why Kilimanjaro? Why that milestone birthday?
By chance, I saw a clear view of Mount Kilimanjaro with its snowy top nearly 20 years ago. I was at a distance, quite a distance away in Tanzania, and I just looked up and saw it and said, "Oh my goodness, Mount Kilimanjaro, how beautiful." Never thought of it again. Fast forward several years. I'd not even been backpacking back when I did that, or hiking when I saw it. I didn't start till I was 65. I'm a late bloomer. So fast forward a few years, I've hiked in Nepal, I've been down in Peru, I've hiked a lot in the United States, and I've been to 15,000 feet. So I got the feeling that I needed to stretch my boundaries, move on up, speaking in that kind of hiking tone. And I recall the memory of this beautiful mountain. So I did a quick research on the computer, and yes, it was touted as being the easiest mountain to climb. So there you go. And it had has 5 different ecological zones. And I love nature, and I was so excited to be able to walk those different zones through, from like actually even through alpine desert, if you believe it, moorlands, rainforest, and the Arctic region, of course. So I just thought that would be the best one to climb. And also, secondly, you needed no technical skills, no ice pick, no rappelling, it's not being pulled up by a rope. Not into that. I'm adventuresome, but not that adventuresome. So that's the place I decided I would go.
How did you train for such an epic climb?
Here's how I trained for this epic climb. Very intensively, I can tell you. I had been a hiker again, probably 15 years or so, 12 something, and I'd done a lot, but this is a big move forward by 4,000 feet up. So I'm thinking, I can do this. But strength training, lots of strength training. I actually went to a female bodybuilder in the neighborhood for a couple of months and built up big muscles in the arms for me and legs for the strength. And then actually we had to practice gradually increasing distance and elevation, and had the flexibility training. Balance is very, very important. Very hard to do the altitude acclimation though, because I live at sea level. Very difficult. So we did, my friends and I that were practicing with me, we did take several trips up into the Southern California's mountains up above Los Angeles and in the Sierra Nevada. But we were doing all that in the springtime, and you can't hike up high because the snow's too deep. And we had a late snow melt last year, so that really worked against us. So that part was a missing little link in this. The rest of it was really watching nutrition, doing a balanced diet, which I usually did pretty well. But I did intake a lot more protein, doubled my protein actually. So I watched my diet very well, and I made sure that I was physically ready.
Mary, tell us about your experience during the climb. The altitude, the physical challenges, the emotional highs.
Because I've always had more guts than good sense. So I just said, I can do this, the proverbial hold my chablis, and I'm going to do this. I can do this. I'm ready for it. I'm physically ready. I'm emotionally ready. And I am just really psyched up about it. I am really ready to do that. I got this.
Mary, what did the climb represent for you personally?
The hike started out very, very nicely, really. The only drawback was that we were, especially me, really tired. Our travel time doubled. So we had one day to rest and get yourself all those things we just talked about, mentally and emotionally and physically prepared to go. So we had one day of rest. So that was a little shaky. It started out as just a little bit shaky. So, but I recovered. I'm tired, but I'm okay. So we leave the lodge. We're taken to the lodge from the airport and had the day to recover. The following morning, we get up and we're transported by van about 3 hours. So the first day was relatively simple. We get to what they call a gate for the Lemosha Trail or trek. So we go into that. We sit down, do the big framework, had a nice little lunch in the picnic benches, and got ourselves all psyched up. Other hikers from other places were there. You get your little equipment, which is your day pack that has your water and your snacks and extra rain clothing, all the things you need to pack. And that's usually 10, 15 pounds. All the rest of it is taken care of by the porter, everything. So no big deal. We eat and I'm feeling fine. And it's an easy hike. You only have 3 hours to hike. So we start out, it's probably, I think it was close to 8,000, 7,500. And we start walking and with the poles, and I'm this is really fun. I'm having a good time. We reach the camp. It's all set up already. The porters go, they have the tents, everybody has an individual tent if you need that, if you're with someone, but they're not very big. That's camping for you, but you don't have to do anything. So you get in there and you wash up, take your boots off, go eat. All the food's wonderful. They actually have a chef that does all it. It's been trained for the right balance of carbohydrates and protein. So blah, 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 we're doing it. And I get up the next morning, I don't feel too bad. They bring you a pan of hot water because there is no facilities other than we do have our own individual little toilet tent, and that's nothing you have to deal with. But the there's no running water. So they bring you warm water, you do all that, and you get up and you're fresh and you take off. So that day was okay too. It was longer. We hiked and we stopped several times to rest. We hike on. I'm still feeling emotionally good, just having a great time, a little bit tired. Don't notice too much of that. We stop, we have lunch that they provide, and then we hike on. So second day is pretty good. We're out of the rainforest and into the moorland. So I'm excited because it's different. So we hike and again, pretty good. Second night, I'm a little tireder, and the sleeping is a little rough because it's cold at night. During the day, it was really quite warm. You could take your coat jackets off. And at night, sleeping on the ground on an air mattress that was heated. I did bring a heated one, so I did suffer from the cold, I'll tell you. I never was much for the cold weather, but being small now, and it just sucks the heat right out of you anyway. So I had a restless night. And the farther up you go, the colder it gets. So anyway, that was a little bit of a handicap for me that I had anticipated, but it had been a long time since I'd done that, to sleep on the ground on a, you're on a mattress and you have sleeping bags, really warm things. We had great equipment. So you get up the next morning and then it gets a little more difficult. So we walk some more. And that's the first day that I noticed that I was losing a little bit of balance. I use hiking poles. Most everybody does on the mountains. And the guides and the porters there say to you all the time, pole, pole. And I thought they meant pole, pole. You know what pole means in Swahili? Slowly. They want you to go slowly. So, I mean, I knew that by the time I got there. So I have my hiking poles, but I'm feeling like I'm off balance. I'm just, I still feel good, but I'm a little off balance. But I just keep going and we slow down a little, have some more water, have to drink. Hydration is just the key to everything. Just keep going. I'm still not worried about anything. Having a great time, talking, laughing, moving. We go slow. We get to the next camp. By then, we're into the third day. The third day, you start hiking. We are hiking higher every day, but you go higher and higher. And then we get to Lava Tower, and that's a big landmark up in the Alpine Desert zone. It's beautiful, really eerie looking, like cactuses, but not really. And there I have a picture of it someplace really strange. So we go through that, and I'm not feeling so hot. We eat hot lunch every day. The big barometer for this is that you eat well, you sleep well, you have no complaints. They ask you every day on the guides on this form that you fill out, and they take your blood pressure and they use an oximeter every day. So I've been doing okay, but that day I'm thinking I'm not feeling so good. The next morning, as we start to hike again, I'm vomiting. So I'm thinking, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm trying to blank it out of my head because I never ever anticipated. The one thing I did not anticipate really was to get altitude sickness, because I had been at higher altitude, and I hadn't even gotten up that high, just not much farther than what I'd already been, and never took altitude medication or anti-illness. So Diamox I had taken, never took it before. And so I thought, okay, I'm bulletproof. La la la. I'm just hiking along, having a good time till this. And it was sneaking up on me. I did not get headaches. I did not have a headache. And it's very common on the mountains to get a headache. Even if you're not, you're just going to get a headache as you go up higher. So at any rate, I thought I can get through this. But the guide the lead guide, they make the decisions on where you go. You don't have a say in it. You can say you want to go back and they'll let you go back just because you're tired of it and you don't want to go. But you don't make the decision about how sick you are or if you need to go on. So that was debatable for a while. The guide was nice about it, and the other camp was like, if I could, but he just looked, my oximeter reading was down, but not low, not real low. If you're between 95 to 100%, that's the oxygen, the way rate the oxygen is being absorbed into your blood and making you move on. So it was only 90, it was at 94. That's lower. But when you get to 92 or lower, then you're in trouble. So he said, well, your readings are good. The pulse was good. Didn't have other things going on. But he looked at me and he said, I know how important this is to you, but I think you need to go back. So I was very disappointed, but I was pretty sick by then too. Truthfully, I was feeling pretty dang tired and, excuse me, and really not struggling to hike, but it was harder. It was harder. So I thought I had to accept that I was going back. So that happened. The only way to get back is by helicopter. So, and they can only run you down the hill real fast on a litter if you're in bad shape and a helicopter can't get there. And I was not in trauma. I was not to the point where I needed any medical intervention, but I probably would have if I'd have tried to go on, that's why he did not let me. So at any rate, I hiked 4 days and I heloed back in 7 minutes.
So, and what's your advice or mantra for women as they age?
On aging and adventure, it's never too late for anything. Try it. Most anything. Just try it. And yes, this set me back for a day. I didn't lose faith in myself, but I was disappointed, I will tell you. But disappointment's a part of life. So you just rework it in your mind. And hey, you tried, you got that far, talked myself out of that. So it did, the perspective of aging is still there, which I think you do as much as you can do and always reach forward to do a little more. And I have to tell you this, the bonus that morning, my birthday was on Sunday morning. I'd come back on Saturday. I'd go out on my balcony at the lodge. I was taken back to the lodge, no medical intervention. I look up and I see the top of the mountain for the first time, really quite close, through palm trees. There's palm trees in the back. So I'm looking at the mountain and it's really quite close. Everyone else is up there that had made it up, watching the sunrise. It's already up, but there it is. That was my bonus. And then the trekking trip took me, or trekking company took me on a 1-day safari with a big picnic lunch on a white tablecloth and a birthday cake and wine. So it made it all better. All of that, you just momentarily say, especially because all the time taken to do this, money, not just the money, but just the time. I prepared for months for this. So that settled in a little harder. I really think that I need to say this to your listeners. I know that's on the end of the questions. If you can think it, if you can dream it, if you can imagine it, do it. And we are not irrelevant. Older women are not irrelevant. We are not limited. We still have a lot to contribute. We have wisdom. We have experience. We have lots of things to offer this world. So don't put up with ageism. And don't listen to, aren't you too old for that? Well, actually, no. And why do you ask?
Well, I don't know about you, Valerie, but I feel like I just paddled a river and climbed a mountain, emotionally speaking.
Same here. What struck me most today was the power of shared grit. Those sisters rowing in sync, lifting each other stroke by stroke, and then that quiet solo daring, one woman, one mountain, one breathtaking goal.
Yes, both stories reminded me that aging isn't about slowing down. It's about showing up for each other, for ourselves, and for those dreams we maybe tucked away but never forgot.
You know, what everything Crazy Good Aging stands for: rewriting the narrative, pushing the boundaries, and proving that courage doesn't have an expiration date.
And now we want to hear from you, our listeners. What's your river to cross or mountain to climb? Is there something big, wild, or just plain joyful you've done or you're planning to do that defies expectations?
We'd love to feature your stories in an upcoming episode. So don't be shy. Drop us a message, send a voice note, tag us on social. Let's keep building this beautiful, bold community.
Thank you for joining us today, and remember, it's never too late to start something amazing.
Because aging, it's not just good.
It's crazy good. Join us next week for Crazy Good Aging.